Hey there everyone, this is Nordic and Moon. This is our first podcast. So this is Nordic.
This is Moon.
So welcome to it. Today we're going to be talking about a couple of little things. We're just going to be introducing ourselves, what we're going to be expecting of our podcast as well as our channel, and covering off a couple of topics that have recently been in the news, such as E3. That's what everybody's been talking about recently, so if you'd like... Keanu Reeves, indeed. So if you want to hear our thoughts on it, then by all means, listen in. You know, if you're doing the dishes, doing the housework, or anything else like that, feel free to listen to us in the background. Or if you're bored and you can't sleep, then I'm sure our voices will put you to sleep, either through dulcet tones or through the fact that we are boring. Either way, that's completely up to you. But anyway, so a little bit about ourselves. So first of all, my life is all around technology. As you can imagine, with us going to be covering off a lot of gaming news, and as well as a lot of hopefully gameplay footage. But in my day-to-day, I spend a lot of time in virtual reality. That's my job, is to work around it. I enjoy doing it, but I'm a gamer at heart, and that's traditional gaming, usually a lot of retro stuff, as well as obviously next gen as well. But it's the old stuff that really gets me coming back again and again, which is why this E3 is being pretty good, because there's been...
Has it though?
It has for people who like nostalgia, so remakes and remasters. There's been quite a lot of them coming out this year. But
I still think last year's was better.
Yeah, last year's was definitely better. I think there's no argument there. So that's a little bit about me, and then Moon is a little less technical than I am, but still,
Just a bit.
Yeah, still a bit of a gamer.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm still a nerd at heart.
So yeah, that's just a little bit about ourselves. Obviously, as time goes on, we'll be divulging far too much information to everybody.
Yep.
But on our first sort of topic of the evening, so as we said, we're going to be covering off E3 and keeping it a little bit simple and easy. You've probably had podcasts which have gone on for 3.5 hours, nitpicking every single show. We're not going to do that brutally, because we've only been able to catch the highlights. We weren't able to watch all of E3.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've only watched a few little tidbits here and there, and obviously, Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, so moving on to our first topic, because she's desperate to talk about Keanu Reeves.
Oh, it's lovely.
He is. He's beyond a human being at this point, I think. He's having a resurgence. He disappeared for a while, but then...
This is such his year.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah. John Wick 3, now he's in...
Toy Story 4.
Toy Story 4.
He's done the voice of the Stuntman, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And also Cyberpunk 2077 as well.
Yeah. Oh, that actually looks like a really good game to be fair.
Yes. Well, it's been in development for a long time, and they've been keeping very quiet about it. But it's a cyberpunk universe, which for me is literally my favourite type of area to be in.
At this moment in time, I'm very into me neon, like, punk sort of vibes.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing at the moment, isn't it?
Oh,
so, obviously...
Batney has a bionic arm, which is...
Yeah,
cool.
cybernetic arm, yeah.
You love all that shit, don't you?
Yeah, so Deus Ex being sort of one of my favourites franchises of all time. So this really, really fits into it, especially with there being a sort of, at the moment, Square have decided to hiatus the Deus Ex franchise, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're not making it anymore, are they?
Not for now. So Cyberpunk 2077, is going to be a great way to fill that void when it does finally come out. Yes. So obviously they came out big with on the Xbox stage having a quick teaser of a man with the camera panning up very slowly, the sunglasses on. Even before the sunglasses came off, everybody knew who it was, because it's Keanu Reeves. And then the sunglasses came off, and he said that we've got a city to burn.
Yeah, yes.
Followed by coming on stage and being really humble and...
Oh, bless them. No.
Yeah.
You're breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
No, you are.
Absolutely made the show, I think, for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. What's their other... What's that face called? Who made E3? The dog.
Oh, yes.
Keanu Reeves.
Was it?
In the woman who made...
Who made Bayonetta.
Bayonetta.
Yeah. not what she was announcing, but let's have a look. I do have a list of games here, and because we are terrible at remembering things, so I might be able to quickly scroll through it and find it. Obviously, people will probably be screaming in comments saying it was such and such. Nakamura, I believe her surname is. Who has very much a Twilight personality where she can be quite fun and funky, which she was at the stage, but then there's also been pictures of her sort of crouched down holding a shotgun because she's been kept in the office for 25 years working on Evil Within, which obviously was the last major title that she worked on that had a bit of a horror vibe, and now she's back at it again with this new title. So yeah, they were the Holy Trinity. We had a dog, we had Keanu Reeves, and then we had
the dog was so cute.
Yeah, and then we had an adorable, high-energy Japanese lady jump out on stage, who really should be getting way more praise than what she has done in the past. She's done some amazing games.
I loved Bayonetta. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, she should be on stage a lot more because she was really, really well presented on stage as well, which was great. So yeah, so that's sort of our quick round off of Cyberpunk. Obviously, they didn't really give a whole lot away as per usual. They're trying to keep their cards close to their heart, which is absolutely fine. But sort of moving on from that, the next big thing for me, anyway, as a huge Star Wars fan. Yes, I know Star Wars is dying at the moment, but yeah. So what was that one? That was Star Wars Fallen Order. Sorry.
Yeah, it was actually a really good game.
Yeah, so we did sit and watch the gameplay trailer with the large majority of it. What did you say that it felt a lot like when you were watching it?
It felt a bit like Tomb Raider.
I think you said it felt a bit Mirror's Edgy as well with the whole parkour type stuff.
Tomb Raider.
Obviously,
I thought it was kind of good, mate.
Yeah, so for me it was like Tomb Raider, Uncharted type gameplay. A lot of scaling walls and climbing up stuff and one man army, and it definitely had that feel. So especially the reboot of Tomb Raider, the reboot franchise of Tomb Raider feels like the look very similar in terms of the color palettes that they're using and just the feel of it, the way the character moves on the map and stuff like that. It just obviously he's got a lightsaber and he has the Force, which obviously Lara Croft doesn't.
I would use the Force a lot more if I had the Force.
Yeah, so it showed off some cool stuff, like obviously him force pushing a door clean open. I thought, because he ignited his lightsaber and I thought he was going to cut the door open, and then we saw that the door just got slammed open by him using the Force. Yeah,
and with the bit with the really big bugs.
Yeah, so obviously they showcased the bugs as well, which, what was your first reaction? I think was just...
Ew.
Ew. Was the first reaction to that. But, I'm terrified of spiders, so for me that's going to be a part of the game I'm not...
I was going to say, they were creepy little bastards, like.
Well, you say a little, but they were bigger than all the people in there.
True, but, still creepy little bastards.
And you've been able to use the stormtroopers as meat shields as well, so you can they can shoot you with a blaster bolt, you can slow down time, you can grab them, and then they can get shot by their own blaster bolt.
Oh, that's good.
It's quite literally the only time that a stormtrooper's ever hit its target. And has hit himself. So that's pretty cool. But that looked really, really good. I think the pacing of the trailer at times was a little bit slow, but I think that was because they were trying to show off the fact that there was platforming elements and puzzle elements, not just all combat, but even the combat felt to me, it felt a little bit slow, but I'm not sure how far into the game that was.
Yeah.
But it was a case of one swing with the lightsaber would kill the stormtroopers, which makes sense because that's what they do in the films. But we also got to see an Inquisitor fight as well. So obviously the black armored guy.
Yeah, he was cool.
Who obviously took a few more hits, but he was only using an electro staff. He wasn't using a dual bladed lightsaber, which they use in not the Clone Wars, but Rebels. Sorry, which is the animated series. Which is the first time that you saw the Inquisitors. They use double-ended lightsabers like Darth Maul.
Yeah.
But they're on discs and they spin, so they can actually spin them like helicopter blades, and they can actually use them to fly, which is ridiculous. But they're not using them.
Technically, if you had the Force, wouldn't you be able to fly?
Well, you can jump really high, but nobody's really ever flown using the Force.
I would. I'd be all over that Dark Phoenix shit.
Yeah. So it would be cool, but I get a feeling that they're trying to rekindle some of the Force Unleashed games as well. Obviously, Galen Marek or Starkiller, who was like dual wield lightsabers. His Force power was ridiculously overpowered. I get the feeling that they're trying to do something similar to that, but tone it down a little bit. because Starkiller was just really too overpowered. But yeah, so that was Star Wars, and I'm happy to say I don't think EA so far have fucked it up, quite frankly, because obviously everybody knows that EA have absolutely decimated the Star Wars franchise of gaming so far. Battlefront 2 was an absolute shit show when it came out. It caused loot boxes to be in the news and international media and all that type of crap. It really screwed things up. But obviously they've left it to Respawn to develop this, so hopefully they're gonna leave them alone. So moving on, I think this one is definitely for me the winner of E3. Now, this was Square Enix's showcase, which immediately, as soon as I saw the trailer, I forced you to watch it. So even though Moon isn't the biggest Final Fantasy fan, I made her watch it because it looks shit hot.
I don't mind it. I just haven't really played on it because you've been playing on it.
Oh, okay, that's my fault. You have played a bit of 14 online.
Yeah, that was good.
But 14 Online is very much a different beast to the single-player titles. But yeah, so anybody who watched Square Enix or follows Square Enix or knows what they make will know that Final Fantasy VII Remake is on the horizon now. It's got a set date, 3rd of the 3rd, next year, worldwide launch. Like, what the fuck? It's finally happening.
Yes.
They teased this back when the PS3 came out. It was a PS3 tech demo originally. And then nothing. Yeah, now that was the PS3, and they're really pushing the PS3 back then. So yeah, so if we finally got to see some more footage of the game, rather than just the same section of the bombing mission over and over again. So what they did is they actually released a trailer the day before, showing you some new footage, which everybody lost their shit over, myself included. But then Square Enix actually had their stage, had their moment, and they not only showed us an extended trailer, but they went into massive detail about the actual gameplay mechanics as well, which was great. So they showed off the Scorpion Guard first boss inside the Mako reactor, which they've took like a 5-minute boss and turned it into this epic 20-minute Dark Souls-esque friggin' Monster Hunter world type fucking battle where you have this giant robot. You got to run in, you got to attack it, you got to defend, you got to use the environment to hide behind. It went fucking nuts. And you can control everybody individually as well, rather than it being turn-based. So, but it is still turn-based because you can stop time and pick what you want to do. So it was really, really cool. I mean, when you watched it, you really loved the way that it looked as well.
Yeah.
So that was like sort of, I mean, granted, we're in 2019 now, graphics are far and away different than what the original Final Fantasy VII was back on the PlayStation 1. And if anybody's seen the comparisons, you can see the difference. But,
yeah. Big difference.
Yeah, big difference, 20 plus years make. But, I mean, it really, really looked good.
I mean, what were people saying? What's her face? Got hot.
Yeah, so Aerith or Aerith, depending on what part of the world you're in. A lot of people were like, "Oh, I'm actually going to feel really sad for when she dies now." Spoilers if you haven't played the game, but tough. It's been out for 20 plus years. You should have played it by now if you've got any interest in it. People were saying, they're really going to feel for her because she actually looks like a person now rather than a bunch of pixels. She looks hot, which,
choosing looks over.
Well, yeah, there is that, but at the same time,
looks in everything.
Looks in everything. But there's definitely more human element. You can attach yourself to a character when you can actually relate to them because they look like a human. Whereas obviously before they were all very, very triangular and blobby looking, barely looking like humans. That and the first episode, the first game that's coming out next year in March is going to be all Midgar. The entire game is going to be Midgar, like 20, 30, 40, however many hours of just Midgar. So you're going to get so much more story, and you're going to get really, really sort of invested in a lot of the characters who you only saw for like 10, 15 minutes in the original game, which is going to be really cool. And they're going to be expanding on stuff, and I think a lot of the stuff that you're going to see is stuff that they originally wanted to have in the game but had to cut back in the PS1 days because it was just too much, which is really, really cool. Obviously we finally got to see Tifa as well.
Yeah.
And she looks good. You know, white tank top, the skirt's still there.
That's who I was on about.
No, Aerith's the one, the flower girl.
I don't know names.
No, you don't know names. You're not very familiar with Final Fantasy VII. Yeah. But no, Tifa looks really, really good. And they've been hiding her ever since they started showing gameplay. It's always just been Cloud and Barrett. Even though you've seen in some screenshots, Tifa's name is on the party roster, but you never see her. They've cleverly cut her out of everything. And they've finally showed her. You know, you see her in the bar, having a drink with Cloud. Then you finally get to see a fight. And like that's true, like, woman power right there.
Obviously.
Literally, she doesn't need a weapon. Her fists are a weapon. I mean, that's why Tifa's always been one of the fan favourites from the females characters within Final Fantasy. Just because she just, you know, she puts up with no shit. Very much like yourself.
Yeah.
You would be the Tifa. But yeah.
But yes, I would be a Tifa.
Yeah, you would definitely be the Tifa. Because let's face it, you would use fists over any weapons if you had to get into a fight. Let's face it, that's just the way you are.
Yeah.
So you actually watched the Dying Light 2 trailer a little bit as well, because you and one of your friends were really into it.
Yeah. Have I played the first game?
Yeah, you played it with one of our mates before. It's all parkour with the zombies.
Oh, well then, yeah, really good.
Yeah, so I didn't really play too much of it. It's not my type of game, so Moon's much more into like zombie horde type stuff than I am.
Yeah, I mean, me panic, anxiety, all that shit isn't a fan, but you know, yeah, it's good.
Yes, but unfortunately, I'm the one who sits with the sniper rifle on top of the building, picking them off, and then she's the one who literally runs in like Leroy Jenkins every single time, and then immediately goes, "I need help. Save yourselves, or I need help. I've got myself trapped in a corner, and they're all coming for us." Did it back in the Left 4 Dead 2 days. Left 4 days. Left 4 Dead 2 days. Did it back in...
Left 4 Dead. Oh, they're bringing a new one out now, aren't they?
So we've heard, but we haven't heard anything about it yet.
Oh, so exciting.
I would imagine it's probably going to follow suit and be an Xbox exclusive, because the last two were.
Well,
I would have thought so. But yeah, like, you're Leroy, and I'm sort of, you know...
Sniper.
The master sniper in the background, keeping you alive for at least another 5 seconds until you inevitably blow yourself up with a grenade that you forgot to throw.
Yeah, sounds like me.
But yeah, so Dying Light, yeah, for me wasn't a massive deal, but I know that you're more into the zombie type horde games, so...
I mean, not loads, because I do panic over it, and I will shit myself.
Yeah. But yeah, it's more of the same from what I can tell. It's a lot of parkour, gathering resources, creating your own weapons, that type of thing. But the main character's infected.
Oh yes, he is.
Yeah, so he announces right at the end of the trailer that he's infected. So that's going to be interesting to see if the infection is going to give him any special abilities, if there's going to be any, like, a perk tree where he can develop his infectious abilities, but there'll be a cost that'll, I don't know, the more infection that he uses or utilises, will it take health away from him? There could be something cool in that.
Yeah.
Which would be really good. And obviously Dying Light 1 was co-op as well.
Yeah.
So Dying Light 2 might be co-op as well, so it might
probably.
be... So the
first one was.
Yeah, so it'd be cool if it was like a balance between one person's becoming more infected, the other one's trying to hold off the infection, having to keep the other one alive.
And then you'll have to kill him in the end.
If the storyline changes because you're playing co-op, then yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
That'd be really, really cool. But yeah, so we've quickly watched over that and followed it a little bit. So yeah, so next up, like I said, this is just going to be more of a highlights thing because we didn't really get a chance to watch a load of E3. Well, for starters, I'm in the UK, and we're both in the UK, and E3 happens to be in the middle of the night for most of us, and
we're very busy people.
Yeah, we're gone are the days where we can stop up all night. Unfortunately,
I mean, I'm surprised if I can stop up past 7.
Yeah, with a full-time job and 2 kids, we can't really do that very well. But yeah, so moving on, we had Gears 5.
Oh yeah. Oh, Raoul.
Yes, so anybody who's ever watched iZombie, Raoul Collie.
Yeah, oh, I love him. He's so funny. Yeah,
I mean, he makes iZombie. He is like the comedian out of them.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like he is playing the voice of one of the main characters. That was announced after
the name
E3.
what he's playing, but I love him. I was loving him when he announced it. I knew there was something coming up.
Yeah. Well, since iZombie's like finished, pretty much.
Yeah.
He needed to be doing something else. He's too talented to not.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah,
and he's a complete nerd. Oh, I just love him, mate. He's so funny.
Absolute,
so funny.
Yeah, huge nerd. So that hooked you pretty much straight away because you've never really been super into Gears.
No, I haven't. But that trailer done it for me.
I
was a fan. 10%. 10,000 points.
So I mean, the last time I played a Gears game like super thoroughly was on the 360. It was Gears of War 3. And that was back in the day when it used to be couch co-op, split screen, all the way. Played a little bit of Gears 4 on the Game Pass because it's on the Game Pass, so I thought might as well play it a little bit. But I think I only got into like the first like hour or so of it. Yeah. But that's the problem with the Game Pass. I just flit between games far too frequently. You download something, play for a bit, get bored of it, delete it, download something else. It's just the way it is with the Game Pass these days.
Yeah.
So Gears 5 is on our radar now, especially yours, with obviously Raoul being one of the voice actors.
It's the only reason I want to play it, to be fair.
So in Nintendo news, moving away from sort of Xbox, obviously PlayStation didn't really have an E3 this year. Not officially, didn't have a big stage like Xbox did. Nintendo also didn't really have a sort of a massive presence because they've been doing Nintendo Directs. But we did finally we got an Animal Crossing game, which everybody who is an Animal Crossing fan, which I do like those types of games. So Animal Crossing New Horizons is finally being announced, and that's, after 5, maybe 10 years? I can't remember how long since the last main Animal Crossing title came out.
10 million billion years.
Yeah, long ass time. I think the original Wii was the last time an Animal Crossing game came out.
I'm not going to lie. The only time I can remember playing Animal Crossing was it on the Wii?
Might have been on the Wii. You've also played on Pocket Camp as well on the mobile.
Oh, was that it?
On mobile?
Well, yeah.
But I have heard that Pocket Camp and New Horizons do not communicate with each other. So you can't send stuff from your camp to New Horizons and vice versa, which is, I think Nintendo are missing a trick a little bit there, but I think Animal Crossing is just going to sell. It's literally a license to print money, and everybody's favourite character, Annabelle, apparently does appear, but it's dependent on your progression through the game. She's not there from day dot. Also, Banjo-Kazooie has been announced for Smash. So everybody's favourite crossover fighting game, Smash Bros. Yeah. Which Smash Bros. Ultimate is just knocking it out of the park. Every single time they announce a character, it's been great.
Oh, it looks really good, man.
So you got all your favourite characters in there. Literally, Sakurai is, God rest his soul, is trying to pull out all the stops, and I think it's in the hope that he can finally retire and stop making Smash games. Which I don't blame him for. He's been doing it for a long time. Yeah. But yeah, Banjo-Kazooie's finally been announced for Smash, and with Banjo being announced in Smash, chances are these franchises that are reappearing in Smash normally indicate that there could be a new title on the horizon.
Yeah.
So we could be getting a new Banjo game as well, which is pretty cool because it's quite light-hearted, and obviously we've got kids, so we're always on the lookout for games which are fun for the kids, challenging for the kids, without it being dark, gritty, Dark Souls, friggin' Gears style stuff where it's literally blood, guts, gore, and aliens, which obviously you can't.
Although I do love aliens.
We do love a good alien, but we've got young children, so they only come out to play when the kids are in bed, unfortunately. Another big news for Nintendo as well was Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has been given a sequel.
Oh, yes.
So, one of my favourite games of Switch, and most people's favourite game from the Switch.
Our eldest will be so excited.
Yeah, so our eldest son has played Breath of the Wild even more than I have. And he loves it, so getting a sequel looks amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It was just a tease trailer, but it showed off that Link and Zelda are actually working together in this one, so you're not going to be solo. In every game, you've pretty much been solo. Obviously, you've had sort of people like Navi, or you've had Medina, or you've had like companions, but they've never really done anything. They've just sort of like stood in the background and given you hints and tips.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Zelda she's going to be a lot more proactive as a character, because she's an actual person.
Yeah.
Rather than like a fairy or some sort of spirit. So that should be pretty cool. But that was literally just a tease trailer. There wasn't too much to it.
I didn't see it.
We'll have to watch it then.
Oh.
There was a couple of things that like it hinted on as to potentially what's going to happen, or what powers Link's going to be able to get access to, but nothing too sort of in depth at the moment. But yeah, so there's some of the games anyway. In terms of like the hardware side of stuff, so obviously we've got to the end of almost at the end of this generation hardware now. So PS4 is coming on, sort of in its eclipsing years. The Xbox One X is sort of on the same horizon as well. So Xbox actually did announce that they are creating a new piece of hardware, currently codenamed Project Scarlet, and they're claiming it's going to be the most powerful console that they've ever made. Obviously, I don't get why hardware manufacturers always say that it's going to be the most powerful that they've ever made. Surely they're not going to make a next generation console which is worse than the previous one. It's just a bit of a stupid thing to say, let's face it.
Yeah.
But some of the specs have apparently been sort of announced or leaked, and it is apparently going to be
shit hot.
8K resolution, standard 4K. 8K is going to be sort of apparent there as well. They've got a partnership with AMD, running on the sort of like custom bespoke chips, or like Ryzen chips or RTXs and stuff like that. Sorry, not RTXs, but like Radeon graphics chips and things like that, all custom built. And it does look really, really good. Obviously, no prices. I think potentially 2020 or something like that. They were saying that they're going to be. I'm not sure if that was the announcement for when it's going to come out, or whether it's under development. They're going to give us more details in 2020. At this moment in time, I can't remember, and I know that's really bad information. But that's just me running off the dome right now. So yeah, so new Xbox. So we've got the Xbox One X at the moment, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got a PS4 as well, but we've been playing the Xbox more recently, and I think it's mainly because of the Game Pass system.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when I go on the PlayStation and everything now, there's nothing to do.
Yeah, granted we haven't been really buying much new, but the PlayStation, we've got a regular PS4. We haven't got a PS4 Pro, and the hard drive on the PS4 is filled.
Yeah.
But it's filled with stuff that if we delete, we're just going to have arguments with our son because he still plays it. So we can't. The PlayStation's more or less out of bounds almost in terms of new stuff. The Xbox is more our thing, and obviously it's an X, so we've got the terabyte hard drive, which is unfortunately still about 87% full already because of the Game Pass, and we've just filled up with crap that we haven't played. Like we've still got Hellblade and some other games which we've never touched yet. Which we'll probably get onto in another podcast, as games that we have played, and we'll be able to give a bit of our feedback on them. Could be another one. And also Google as well. So Google's finally entering the games console market. The Google Stadia, or Stadia, depending on how you want to pronounce it. But this thing's not going to be a console in the sense of... Shut up, Google. Unfortunately, I have an Android phone, and she picked up that I was talking to her, so I do apologise if you heard that. So you got the Stadia, which is going to be a streaming console. It's going to be a controller and a Chromecast that you need to plug into the TV, and you'll be able to download the app on your phone or tablets to run it through there as well. But you're going to have to stream everything. You're not going to be able to download anything and play it offline.
Oh, that's annoying.
It's going to be online all the time, and and it's a subscription model as well.
Oh, what a shock.
But they announced details about how much bandwidth you need or how much download speed you need to be able to run it at certain resolutions and stuff like that, which is all well and good. So here in the UK, people online on Twitter have been bashing, saying like, oh, some countries like the UK and Australia are going to really struggle. I don't know. From what I know of the UK's internet infrastructure, most people in the UK have got pretty good internet.
Yeah.
So we're running 200 megasecond here in our house, and you need a minimum of, I think it was something like 30 megasecond to run 4K. So it's not a big ask. Granted, when you hook up your phones and your laptops and the PlayStations and the Xboxes and everything else.
Yeah, that'll be a lot.
then you'll be looking to have 30 meg free. But yeah, I'm not too sure. The other problem is only this subscription model. Only some of the games are going to go onto the subscription model that you can play for free. But the large majority of the games you're still going to have to buy for full price.
Oh.
So you're going to have to pay a monthly subscription, but then also buy the games on top of that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Which obviously...
No, that's kind of bad. It's bad.
Yeah, it's not the best business model in the world. Although some people will say, well, you pay monthly for Xbox Live, or you pay monthly for PlayStation Plus, or you pay monthly for Game Pass, so you're only getting a selection of games out of that, and then you're still buying games full price as well. But that's optional.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Stadia is mandatory.
Yeah.
And if you want to play at 4K resolution, you have to go into the Pro subscription. They've locked out the 4K resolution.
I mean, they're not daft, are they?
No, it's Google. They're not stupid here. When they've got as much data as they do, mining it all the time and saying what people will pay for, they're going to know what to pay for. Yeah. But I don't agree with it. I don't think I'm going to be getting one. Because a lot of the titles that are coming out for it are titles that are also coming out for the Xbox, for the PlayStation, for PC, for next-gen consoles. I'd rather just stick with the existing consoles, and I know that sounds slightly close-minded, but I don't trust buying into a subscription model rather than buying into a piece of hardware. We're relying on the cloud service. What happens if Stadia goes down? You can't play on anything offline. At least if Xbox goes down or PlayStation goes down, network goes down, you can still play on stuff that's on the PlayStation, or you've got a hard copy of that doesn't require the internet to play.
Well,
but yeah, so there is that. But anyway, that's sort of our E3 coverage. Not as detailed, not as sort of super accurate as other people's will be, but it's just some of our thoughts about E3. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to just a little bit of a overview of some of the other things that we'll be covering in the future. Some ideas that we've got. Some things will be more popular than others, obviously. But some of the things that we want to cover off is, obviously we're going to be covering off gaming stuff because we're both gamers. Yeah,
I was going to say it'll be games, but the big one I want to do is conspiracy theory. Yes, bitch.
Yeah, so we are big Shane Dawson fans, so I think that's where that's been born out of. I mean, we've both been conspiracy theorists for a long... well before he made it popular. Yeah. But yeah, so we're going to be doing that, and you're probably going to be taking a bit of a lead on that because you're more into it than I am.
Yeah. I'm your spooky gal. He's your nerd.
Very much. But yeah, so we'll be covering off that, and I think we're going to be doing some sort of smaller segments around
pagan,
our pagan
holidays,
beliefs,
family life, everything.
Yeah, so we've got quite a lot of ideas. We've drafted up about 2 pages of potential topic ideas, so we should be able to keep going for a while. But yeah,
and people can let us know if they want to hear anything as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so if anybody's got any suggestions, feel free to post them in, sort of on the comment section and things like that. On Twitter, on Instagram, whatever. And we'll be able to sort of explore a little bit. But yeah, so I think we've got some potential big dates coming up soon in terms of our pagan calendars. So we'll probably be covering off the preparing for those things, what we do for it. It's not a strict sort of religious order to anything. It's a case of get involved if you want to. So we kind of
basically
do what you want.
You light a fire and you drink.
On average, for us, it's light a fire, celebrate things, and get a little bit drunk. Yep.
It's good.
It's good. Yeah. We're open to all things, really. But that's what that's the path we've taken. So that's the way we're going. So we'll be covering off things like that as well. Lifestyle, I think, as well, is another one that we're going to be covering off.
Yeah.
Parenting, because we are parents, so we're going to have to complain about kids at some point. Definitely. So, it could be useful for people who are becoming parents or people who are parents and
just want to rant.
Just want to rant or
advice
if they come across something that they've never had before. Not to say that we are the font of all knowledge. No. We're not. No parent is the font of all knowledge. We tell that to our children so that they listen to us. But in reality, nobody knows everything, and we don't claim to do so either. So yeah, we'll be covering off things like that as well. So it's going to be sort of very free flowing. It's very going to be very off the top of our heads quite a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Just more of a chat. So quite an informal.
More of a bants.
Yeah, more of a bants. Or banter or chat for any of you people who don't get our sort of colloquialisms or dialect lingo.
Yeah.
For all of you non-northerners from the UK and the wider world will be probably wondering what we've just been talking about for the last hour or so.
Well, especially me.
Yeah, especially you.
What words was she saying?
So we're going to probably attempt to do maybe weekly podcasts if we've got enough to talk about. So hint, hint, please make suggestions if you want something talking about. We do plan on also potentially getting some guests on, so guests will probably be in the interim because let's face it, we've just started out. We have not got the influential power to bring people on to talk.
I don't know, mate. I've already got a few.
Well, there's a few potentials, but it'll be mainly people that we know in real life, so friends, family, things like that. But we also have a couple of people who we might be able to bring on who we've developed relationships with, who do have probably a better online standing than we do. But then those will be talking about topics that are being involved in the discussions as well. So it's not just us two talking all the time.
Well, it's not just you talking all the time.
Well, that's because I'm more used to being in front of a microphone than you are.
Well, yeah. Wait until I get a few more beats in, then I will.
Yes. That is definitely true.
Yeah.
The more beers, the more gobby she gets. But yeah, so hopefully, this sort of really chilled out format is going to work for some people. Just listening to us ramble in the background. Anybody got any feedback? As long as it's constructive feedback and it's not just people berating us, then that's absolutely fine as well. But I think we're going to call it a night for tonight now. Hopefully our little insights have been useful. You've enjoyed listening to us. And we hope to speak to you again next week with something completely different, probably. E3's over with now.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about games next week, I don't think.
No.
Unless we've played something.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, which we might do. But TV, film, we'll cover that off as well, because we watch a lot of TV. A lot of Netflix. And it's usually you who gets me in a lot of Netflix stuff.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah. So you'd be good for doing Netflix. Netflix and chill, without the chill. Because that gets you banned on the internet. But yeah. Anyway, so thank you very much for listening, everyone, and we'll see you all next week.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.